Hey, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. This is ThinkCentral Lesson 311, Homework Review Tutorial. In this lesson, we are going to be working on dividing whole numbers by either other whole numbers or fractions. Let's unpack this first problem. Consider the division problem 2 divided by 5. So what you want to notice here is that 2 is your dividend. That's what you're dividing. So you have 2 of something. Let's just say I have 2 cookies, and I'm dividing it into 5 pieces. So whatever I'm doing here, I'm putting into 5 pieces. So obviously each person's not going to get a whole cookie. So what situation could this relate to? 5 friends sharing 2 sandwiches? Yeah, that's right, because you've had 2 sandwiches divided amongst 5 people. 2 friends sharing 5 pizzas? No, that wouldn't be right, because that would be 5 things divided into 2 groups. 2 cakes cut into 5 pieces. That could work. That would also work. 5 people each sharing 2 gallons of gas. No, that would not work, because you need 2 things. So you're either going to share 2 submarine sandwiches amongst 5 people, or you're going to cut 2 cakes into 5 pieces. And so either one of those would work. So we have to pick between these two. Probably the best one is 5 friends are sharing 2 sandwiches, because this one, 2 cakes cut into 5 pieces, you're not necessarily cutting each cake into 5 pieces. You're cutting both of them into 5 pieces. So that might work, but the best situation here would be taking 2 sandwiches and sharing them with 5 people. So which diagram works best for this? Here you have 2 whole things, but this time they're not cutting into 5, they're cutting into thirds, so that wouldn't work. You have 2 whole things here, and you are cutting them into 5 pieces each. So to me, B looks like a good model. This is not cut into 5 pieces, and this is not cut into 5 pieces. So what is the solution to this problem? If you have 2 things and you're going to divide them by 5, your answer is going to be 2 divided by 5, which is 2/5. So you see here 2/5. Or you could do the keep change flip. 2 divided by 5 is the same as 2 times 1/5, and that is going to be 2/5. So your answer here should be 2/5. Let's unpack the next problem. You have a division problem of 1/5 divided by 2. So again, your dividend is going to be 1/5. So you are going to be, it's not drawing, you're going to be dividing 1/5 of something by 2. You're cutting 1/5 in half, basically. So which situation is best to represent this problem? Janelle has 1/5 pound of turkey. She uses it to make 2 burgers of the same size. So that might work, because if you had 1/5 pound of turkey and you cut it into 2 burgers, you would be taking half of each one. So that might work. Eric has 2 airplanes that each weighed 1/5 of a pound. No, because that's 1/5 times 2, so that's not division. That doesn't work. Matt uses 1/5 yard of fabric for each stuffed animal he makes. How many stuffed animals can you make with 2 yards? No, that's dividing 2 by 1/5. And Lucy uses 2 pounds. Now you need to have the dividend of 1 pound. So the situation that works best is 1/5 pound of turkey cut into 2 patties. So which one looks like the best model here? You have 1/5 pound of turkey cut into 2. That is right there, 1/10. That looks good. 1/4, that's not right, and 1/3, that's not right. So the best model is A, 1/5 split into 2 pieces. And if you do the keep change flip, you have 1/5 times 1/2, and that equals 1/10. So that's the keep, and that's the change, and that's the flip to the inverse operation, an inverse number. So you end up with 1/10. Let's unpack the third problem. There is 1/6 of an extra large pizza left over in the fridge. So that is your dividend. So let's draw that here. So you have 1/6 of a pizza left in the fridge. If 4 friends share the piece, so you're going to take this one piece and you're going to cut it into 4 pieces, so it's going to be a very small piece. We're going to cut it into 4 pieces. So you have basically 1/6 divided by 4. So which one shows that? That's a times 4. That doesn't work. That's 4 divided by a 6. That doesn't work. That one works right there. And that's a subtraction. So we're going to go with C for the equation. 1/6 divided by 4. Let's do keep, change, flip. So we keep the 1/6 because that's your dividend. You've changed the sign to the inverse operation, which is multiplication, and you flip the divisor into the reciprocal. So you ended up with 1/24 of the entire pizza each person gets. Let's unpack number 4. There's a banner that has a length of 14, so let's always draw this. So the length is 14, and it has an area of 11. That means the total amount of square feet inside this is 11. So you know that area, or you could know this, area equals length times width. So you know the length is 14, so area equals 14 times width, and the area is 11. So 11 equals 14 times W. So what is W here? We don't know that. So in order to find this out, you basically take divide this side by 14 and divide this side by 14. You do the inverse of that. So what equation I'm going to use? 11 equals 14 times W. We're going to go that. So what is W? So you have to, what you do to one side, you do to the other. Divide that side by 14. So W should equal 11/14. And let's check that. So is 14 times 11/14 equal to 11? And you can see here it is because you slash and dash. 1 times 11 is 11. 1 times 1 is 1. So it is 11. So the answer here, the width of the banner should be 11/14 feet long. Let's unpack question number 5. Lucy has a half an hour to decorate a half dozen cupcakes. So what is a half a dozen? Well, a dozen is 6, so half of that will, a dozen is 12, so half will be 6. So she has a half an hour to decorate 6 cupcakes. How much time can she spend on each cupcake? Well, if you have a half an hour, that's your dividend, and you're going to divide it by 6. That is going to be your answer right there. So let's do the keep, change, flip. Let's look at would be the equation we want to use. So keep the dividend, that's your time, that's what you're dividing up. Flip, change the sign to multiplication, and flip the divisor to the reciprocal. So she can spend 1/12 of an hour on each cupcake, because you have 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, 6/12. 6/12 would be the total time she has. That's a half an hour. Let's unpack our final question for the homework. On Wednesday, there's 80 people that watched a softball game. So there's 80 people here on Wednesday. Just drawing a picture. It rained on Friday. So here is Friday, and only 16 people went to the game on Friday. The number of people who watched on Friday is how many times? Well, 16 is way less than 80. So how many times less is it? We could say that 80 divided by some number, we don't know what it is equal to 16. Or you could say 80 times some number, because that's what it says, times, is equal to 16. So what is it equal to? Well, let's see what 16 will go into 80. If I divide 16 into 80, I'm going to get 5. So I think 80 divided by 5 will equal 16, or 80 times 1/5 will equal 16. So it is 1/5 times the number of people saw the game on Friday as they did on Wednesday. There you go. These are pretty complicated, and a lot of it has to do with the language of the discipline, understanding what they're asking. Make sure you ask for help to build mastery.